Oh shit.
This one. Somebody help him. I got it. Hold on.
Oh.
All right, I'm coming back. I might come back. Let me push this a little more in. Perfect. All right.
Let's get these cups.
Yeah. Wait for this thing to pass. All right, go. One. Next cup. What the hell happened? How'd you die?
2. 3. Four. All right. Okay.
Can we get the destroy the 3 without the ball? You can probably do that too. Just leave it in the middle.
They just throw a cup out in the center.
Well, there's only 2 left.
So that means one of them got destroyed without the ball, right? Or,
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we didn't break any. Unless it broke when we broke the wall.
Yeah, that may have happened.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
sorry, guys. Okay.
Oh god.
This shit
Wait, we gotta help him. Throw that in. Ready?
Either that or, yeah, let's say we're gonna start throwing items into the room. We still gotta put those big ass
These
couches
fucking
in there.
couches.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I was trying to throw these things in. You're not gonna have room to put these couches in.
I'm gonna start moving stuff in here. XC, go help with the couches.
Help me throw this big thing over there, like to the back.
Oh.
There we go. And now this one.
What is this? Oh.
Get out of here. Nice. Oh my god. Okay.
What are we missing? Oh, this. Ah, fucker.
Another couch.
Yeah. I don't know. We could do the pro time.
Stop! He's already dead.
Ah, damn. We just missed it.
Nope.
Right there. And pull this in. There we go. This way.
Fuck.
Alright.
Gotta be thrown candy. What's that? Chocolate.
I just keep falling in the chocolate.
You're not holding it right. You gotta be on the end of it.
Somebody help me
There
here.
you go.
Right, throw. Shit, we're about to lose the cat. Yeah, we
Oh,
lose the
that couch just came out.
Gotta go this way.
Level 6.
I think we gotta do these couches first, bro. This L shape
Yeah.
fucks us up. Shit, we got 50 seconds. We gotta throw some of this back.
Oh.
Yeah, we gotta throw that small one. The one that Carly got. Throw it.
Alright.
Fuck.
Shit. Damn, I think we failed this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's restart it. We gotta do those big couches first. What color are the things on? Like,
Oh,
which
shit, I
color
don't know.
wall it is, you know?
We'll just
No
smash
clue.
all the walls and then do couches first.
All the big shit first, for sure. Especially those couches.
Second wall.
This fucking thing's in the way. Okay.
All right, we could just on this. You got your side?
Yep.
All right, try to throw.
This thing was a pain in my ass. Let's do this wall first, go. Outside.
And throw this.
Right here behind me. Where are you going? You're fighting it. This wall.
Oh,
Rick, come back.
we don't need that, or do we? Oh, yeah, we kind of do. All right,
Yeah.
all right, get ready to throw.
Try to push this one.
Oh shit!
There we go. Got him. Okay, we still need this big wall.
Oh.
Oh no.
Lost. Oh, no. Oh, the couch is still ain't open.
It's gotta be this one. Yeah.
All right, so let's move this bitch out. I don't know where
This
we're
one
gonna
right here.
Yeah. I think that's it for that thing. Okay, stupid couches, huh?
All right, where's the truck?
Right
Down
here.
Over
there.
here.
All right, go all the way to the back, all the way back, and then help me push it to the wall. There we go. That's one.
Okay. There's too many people in there.
Got it. You got it. You got it. I'm gonna try to stop this. All right, just let it rock. Yeah. Candy, help me with this. Bring that
Oh,
all the
shit.
way to the back.
I was stuck on the wall.
Push it back in.
Here's your favorite couch.
Here we go. That's a good spot. All right, everything else now.
Okay.
should be-
Four of these.
Oh, the cups.
Yeah. One.
Carly, when you can't help me with this couch.
Two. Three.
Put it as far back as we can. Oh. I guess that's okay. We got the two big couches. And so.
Four. And then break the other three.
Grab the other side. Carl? Yeah, and then let's throw it. There we go. Fuck it. Look.
Okay, another big
Cake,
ass
cake,
item.
cake.
We got that big box back there too. Big blue square box.
Let's throw this one.
Hey, I got stuff.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Oh my god, Carly. Oh my. Have to let go.
Oh shit.
Get it, Carly mute herself again? I think she'll be good there.
Oh, shit.
No! You bitch.
That was a pro sign right there. We just lost, but don't worry.
That's in here. Definitely there.
Oh, the fucking
gotta throw
croissant?
this.
Oh, no.
Somebody throw this with me.
Okay.
Damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, fuck the pro time on that one.
Fuck that one altogether.
You know what? This game was pretty chill, Mill, up until this level. This level, like, it's a little stressful. Like, I know Carly's, like, confused as... like, Carly's like, I don't know what we're gonna do.
The first time I didn't see the flashing dots on the bottom, and I was like, how do you know which one to put it in? Like, what are you guys doing?
Wait, break the delivery area last. Oh, I mean, we could do that with the pro. All right, well, we'll try it. So we don't need the cups this time.
Right. But break the delivery zone last. How do you know which one's the delivery zone?
It shows you the truck when you get near it.
Just hit. Well, I don't know what y'all button is, but I know it's triangle for us.
It's triangle for us, so I'll tell you right now.
Oh,
The
okay.
delivery truck is this one right here, the baby blue.
Like blue
This
one?
one right here.
Okay.
All right. Oh, they're about to break.
Oh, all right.
Oh, he
Nice.
almost broke. Oh, well, I'll help you with this one. This shit is gonna fucking get in the way. All right.
Okay, fucked up ball.
All right.
Oh, I think
Yeah, throw.
that's what's up. Yeah.
Oh no!
No, no, no!
Not the other way. All right. Oh, that was a good throw. That almost threw.
Oh.
Wait, it's still
Oh,
it did,
oh,
it did.
push.
Let's go. All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna roll it, bro. Let's roll it. There we go. Still need that yellow, the one with the yellow top and the dark blue top.
Let's pull these couches out, Rick.
Oh yeah, that's still gonna be a pain too.
Yeah. There we go.
It's gonna be.
Oh, Carly, you gotta help him with the ball.
Still got two doors, but or two houses. This yellow one right here. Oh,
There we go. And try to. Can you move left? Yeah. Push
we got
left.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot. We ain't got no room to move out here. They got
Throw it.
walls
Just throw
to
it.
break.
Just throw it. That's all we've been doing, is just throwing shit. Here. Which one we gotta do next?
That dark blue one and the yellow one.
All right. So do dark blue. Throw.
Ah. Okay. Now just. Oh shit.
All right. Carly, so lost right now. All right, we're throwing. Here we go. And then one more. Oh shit.
Oh,
Where
shit.
did it go? Oh, right there.
Right here?
Now,
Right here.
now the truck.
Yeah.
Help.
Oh, ecstasy is high as fuck too right now too.
Nah, I'm looking to make sure we got that
He
wall
was
this
standing
time.
right next to you.
Yeah, because last time we missed that wall inside that pink room.
All right.
Put it with the cups. Put it with the cups.
Oh,
Anyway,
my bad. I'm
Throw
good.
throw it into the cups.
Ready? Roll. Let's roll it.
Oh, no.
Stupid cups. All right.
Because we got to get these cakes out.
Here. Pull this out, the ball. We're going to throw it in there. All right. Get your side, get that side, and then we'll throw it in. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, we got to do these couches. Push it back, push it further back. Yeah, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I need help here with this. Ecstasy needs help too.
Yeah. Trying to get these big items. Get over that tip.
Oh.
Thought if I let go, it
Gotta
might
throw,
do
gotta
it.
throw it. Nice. Drag.
Stupid croissant.
There's a big couch over here in the next one.
I need help on this one.
I'm coming. Oh, we're about to miss the pro time. Yeah.
Nope.
God damn.
That's crazy.
Stop.
We gotta throw it.
Candy.
Oh, Carly, we gotta throw it. Yeah, we gotta throw it in. Carly, we gotta throw it in. Carly, with your high ass, you gotta come back out and we throw it in.
There you go.
Ah.
Fuck.
You gotta go all the way around now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to make room, but
Shit.
Come on.
I am about to miss
Fuck.
it again. That croissant done fell out.
yeah, we missed it.
Okay, we got
shit.
that then. There we go.
That was it? Oh my god. Yo.
My
Hey,
palms
Chris,
are so in.
that level's so paved.
Okay, I believe we could do the pro time. Because now we don't got to worry which one we got to destroy first. We could just fucking destroy all the damn wall. That's just me.
Right.
I don't know if you guys want to go through it again, though. But I believe we
Yeah,
can
let's
do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. 'Cause
We won't do it.
right now in the beginning, just destroy everything.
Did you just say we won't do it?
No, I didn't
still
say.
won't fight you.
I didn't say we won't do it. I said you won't do
I'll fight you.
it.
I will fight you.
Just roll those balls into everything.
I need you to have some
Let this thing,
positivity.
let this stick hit the balls first.
There you go. Ball roller. I'll drag it out to my. There we go. You want to throw it, right?
Oh, we could roll it. We could do whatever.
I'll throw it. Yeah, I'll throw it.
Oh, let's roll.
Shit.
Throw it in here real quick. Throw it in the cups.
Oh, let's throw. Ah!
Break all those fucking cups, bro.
Broke one cup. It broke one cup.
You're grabbing it. Okay. So we roll with it.
I can't get no room to roll it.
Oh, right here. This blue one. Oh, we're rolling? Alright, they got that one. And then we need the
We're
second
gonna
wall
have to
here.
throw it.
Throw it.
Carly.
Oh shit, we're too close to the lip.
What the
What?
fuck happened?
Oh, we lost
Oh,
Carly.
Oh, Carly fell. Oh.
I got kicked out.
okay, that worrying. Let me know what time are you guys good to, because like I feel like we already did 4 hours. So, I mean, I know for me it's like nothing, but I know everybody else has different energy levels. So,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm still good for now.
and Miss Carlifa.
Can I get a hoya?
I think Carly hates us, bro. Oh, she's offline. She blocked me. That's
Hoya.
crazy.
Dang, she hates you forever.
She blocked me. Yo, pal Joey, what's up, man? You love this game? Yo, this game is fun, man. This and Overcooked are fun. Did she get kicked out of the Discord too? I can't see
Yeah.
because. Oh, yeah. Okay, man.
Oh no, she's here. She's here.
Oh, so she just hates us then.
Dun-dun-dun.
What is that emote?
Hello?
Oh shit! I didn't even know I had a aloe emote. Don't worry, Carly.
Take
I
your
need to
time.
wish list this game. Yeah, this game is available on all platforms, Sayo. And it's cross-platform, so you can play with anyone. No, I'm excited for Chicago. Like, real excited.
I love the aloe.
So, Candy, you thinking of making a comeback soon?
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah?
I've been pondering.
Good, good. I like that for you.
Thank you, Sile.
Yo, how all my big titty friends feeling, man? How's this heat treating ya?
It's rough out here.
I know, man. I know.
The titty sweat is real.
I got a coworker, right? Who, like, well, I say coworker. But I have an employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we have this thing at my job where, like, you know, if someone uses the bathroom, if someone needs to use the bathroom, like,
I'm under all the fans, homie.
let somebody know so that we could cover you for whatever little time, right? So she goes and she tells me, hey, I gotta use the bathroom. I was like, go ahead. And she goes into her purse and she picks up 2 deodorants. And I'm like, wait, why you got 2 deodorant sticks? One for each armpit? She goes, no.
One
for my armpits, one for my under the titties.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I was like,
That's
oh,
real.
I did not know that. I thought y'all just use the same stick for like under the boobs and under the arms.
If you're real fancy, you also have a thigh one.
Nah, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm
Chub
learning a
rub is a
lot.
thing with thick thighs.
But they're all the same thing, right? Like meaning like they're all for armpits. You're just using it in different parts of your
Yeah.
body and not cross contaminating.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought I was about to say like, damn, they sell thigh deodorant like specifically for thighs, and I got you. Ribs, what's up, Ribs? How we feeling? How we living? And deodorant is cooling for the titties too, depending on the brand. I bet.
A little
There she
methylated action.
is.
Oh, there's a goldfish.
Wait, we are 7/19/24. Okay, remember, we picked the 7/19/24 game. Just fed the baby and now she farting on me. A W farts. Thank you, Candy.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Who,
That one's better though.
we're waiting on someone who will pick the safe game file, either X or Carly. You picked it already?
It'll pull.
Yo, X's mic is struggling right now. I don't know why too, because it was good before.
You'd hate
Oh, we found one of the gnomes? Okay. A dozen gnomes on every job. That's crazy.
Sorry, my internet went a little crazy.
No, you're good, girl. Don't
I'll
worry.
fight it.
Good thing Candy was here, because I was under the impression that you just hated us.
Imagine that's how I left.
Block everybody forever. Fuck you, I'm out.
Are you having like bad weather or something out there, or is just like shitty internet overall over there?
Nah, my nephews are probably just both playing games too.
Damn. You think they're playing games? They're probably watching porn.
Oh.
Don't say that to me.
Probably true though.
Oh wait, why am I still doing this? Oh fuck. You already got that.
Oh, Carly dropped again. No.
She did?
No, there she is.
You're still here.
Tile late as fuck.
You gotta be a higher fart level. Alright, I think we got this, guys.
Oh, are you sure?
I think we
Wait.
got it.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Sai. I didn't know you heard me.
That, cause you
I
get it,
love
you get
you.
it, Sayo, cause you're deaf.
No. Oh, shit.
Shit. He sure.
Taking
I feel
out
like
my
we should do
hearing aid
this one fucking
SMH.
last because then you got to get the ball back out.
All right, there we go.
Joking.
Oh,
Two for
nice.
one. We out here.
That was sick.
All right, let them get that. Let's get this stuff now.
Okay.
Actually,
Let's get this first.
no, I was gonna say let's get the big couches.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait. Pull your side up. All right, there we go. Wait, let me pull mine out.
Pull it out.
All right, no, follow it.
Here.
Oh, you some bitch. A cop block like that. All right. Hold
Don't
on.
need that no more.
Stay. All right, there we go. Keep going. Yep. Wait. You gotta go. There we go. Oh, some bitch. Right. Move. No. Fucking. Yeah, we gotta wait for. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe we could get in there before it go. All right.
Wait.
You
Turn
turn
around.
around. Oh, yeah, there we go. Keep going. Yeah. Like Tetris. Hey. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Throw this bitch. Wait. Yeah, Carly, there we go. Throw it. There we go. We're not gonna get any. Yeah. When you guys get in there, just throw that shit. Oh shit.
Oh, just
Carly
put it
is
in
strong
this
woman.
way.
All right, ready? Throw. Oh damn! I hit his head. All right.
Where's that other big box? Right here.
Oh, the croissant, guys.
Ah,
Let's get in there. Oh, sorry.
Bingo.
get the flamingo. Fuck that flamingo.
Move this out. No, not that. This Carly, the ball.
I thought I was
You're
grabbing
good.
the.
Ah.
All right,
Okay.
I'm coming, Carly. All right, we out. Can we throw that to the back? Let's see. Stay there. Oh. Can we try it again? Wait. There we go. Oh, now try to throw this thing in the back. Damn! You're just slapping mad ass. Can somebody throw this back here for me? Damn, y'all left me alone. I'm trying to. There we go. Okay, we should have room for everything now.
We gotta break these cups, I think.
No, we're not worried about that. Oh, you talking
Well,
about?
we gotta get these cakes out.
Just throw them.
Yes, bro.
I can't fucking grab it. Okay, no.
All right.
I'm literally latching everywhere but the fucking side.
All right, let's go, Carly. Damn.
You gotta break the cups. Oh. Fuck. That's the pro time.
That was the pro time. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, we gotta break those fucking cups then. Shit.
Don't break.
All right, this will be the last time we try it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck these cups. What?
Yep.
Damn thing. Go around.
One more.
Oh, fuck, I'm trying to grab the.
Ah.
And the last one. There we go.
Last door.
I think they got it.
Got it.
Where's the big couch?
Yeesh. That thing's a pain.
What's the last door? Oh, the last door's a.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh. Nice. Go in before it goes. Oh, we gotta turn around?
Turn around.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Look at the tape.
Alright, there we go. Oh, we're fucking marvelous.
Yeah.
Next door, I got one. We're gonna throw this when we're in there. Get in there and. Well, alright. There's one back here. Somebody wants to help me. My bad. Alright, there we go. We're gonna throw it when we get in there. Perfect, bro.
Got the croissant.
I got a double. Oh yeah, the croissant too.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Oh shit. All right.
Let's go. Oh my god. Oh.
Let's throw this because we need room for that croissant.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but we're out.
Gotta be.
I'm coming. Oh wait, Candy's there. Is that
We need
the
a
only thing?
reckon. We need to get
You
this.
need
Oh, we
the-
need the ball. All right, so get
need
rid
the
of
ball.
that first. Somebody come with me with this ball. Oh shit. Shit.
Back a little bit.
We got a minute left. Turn around.
Well, last piece. Everybody.
Is that the last piece?
This one behind this wall. Yeah. Oh, help me pull this ball out.
No, we gotta throw it.
All right, no, you know what? Peace. Oh, try it again. There we go.
Fine.
Let's go.
Shit. Trying to get that
You
ball
got it.
out.
This
Come
way.
on.
This way. That way. Yep. Back.
Ooh.
We got it.
Let's go.
Stick this out. Guy said he's dizzy.
Yeah, that level's a pain, bro. That was a pain right
Oh
there.
my god. Good job. Fuck.
Hell yeah, yo.
Yeah.
I started burning.
Oh, Tiff, yeah, man, have a great one. That one was a bitch. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. Like everything was moving so smooth, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, we need another wall. I was like, fuck. Oh damn, we only need 3 more stars to get level 5 fart. Damn, that means we have to.
So you gotta go up. You gotta go up that volcano looking. It boosts you to the top
To the right.
Oh, I see it. I see it right here.
where the arrow is.
Ah. Oh shit, this looks like another spinning. Oh, there's a basketball hoop here though.
Hey.
Honeycomb hoops.
Sling a gumball. Oh. What are the ones for this one? I hope you get good rest. I hope you enjoy your weekend, Tiff.
Yeah.
Make 3 shots in a row.
Wepa.
Yo, Poison, what's up?
Knock the flamingos. They're
Who am I in love
Flamingo.
with?
two
Damn.
flamingos.
That's a heavy question, Poison Hippie. I don't know. I don't know right now, Hippie. I'm trying to fall in love with myself first, you know?
Period.
Real.
Okay, so make 3 shots in a row. And what'd you say about the flamingos?
Just knock them down.
Oh, okay.
Purchase. And shoot a gummy bear.
Shoot a gummy
Got
bear?
Yeah, inside the.
In the stand? Is there a gummy bear? Oh, there's a gummy bear right there.
Weird basketballs are made of this. Okay, get the highest score before time runs out. Wait, we're in teams?
You gotta put it on that.
We have to throw them together.
What do you have to do?
Put it on the front of this heart.
On the front?
Yeah, ball.
Oh, it's a slingshot.
Oh.
You gotta let go of it. It's like a magnet.
Okay.
And then you gotta go behind it.
Can 2 people pull?
I don't know.
Cause it's not going very
Yeah,
far.
it looks like there's 2 things. Oh no, it looks like it's only 1 person.
No, 2 people gotta pull. Get it.
Yeah, somebody come here. Oh. Oh, Curry.
Let's go.
Ah.
All right, that's 1 shot in a row.
We need it there.
Hold on. Oh, we just got fucked up. Damn. Okay, hold up.
You got the bear on there. We don't need the ball. We have the bear.
No.
We have to shoot this gummy bear.
Oh, oh.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh shit! You just gotta hold it back in. Damn.
No, wait.
It's gonna be a tough one.
All right, there we go. Money. Oh. Shit.
Rick, get it together.
I'm trying. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely redoing this one.
Wait, 3, 2, 1.
I've never played with it.
Oh, what do we? It says score attack. Complete a score attack level. Damn. Oh yeah, we gotta try this
Like-
again.
Like 2 and
We didn't know the first like the first good amount. We didn't know that we needed 2 people to pull.
yeah, 2 and 8 for.
I didn't even understand it was a slingshot for the longest.
Yeah, because usually I play with that as only. So you only need 1 person.
All right.
Damn, I missed it.
Yeah. Oh, you
Oh.
bitch. Wait.
I think we should have waited a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Money. That's money.
I wonder. I don't think. Might
Ain't
not
no
be able to.
way.
Might not. Should be money. Go in. Oh, they played us, bro.
Oh, this is good.
Played us.
That's gotta be good. Let's go.
I think we should wait till it's in the middle.
I think so too.
Yeah. I.
Let's go. Wait, wait.
Threw me off the side. Damn, they keep playing me and Carly over here, bro, giving up in and outs off the rim shit. Yeah, we got to do better. I
Oh,
don't think,
shit.
we made a shot.
Oh,
Shit.
damn. This is harder than.
We only got 3 total.
Yeah, you only get 2
Sorry.
minutes.
I'm laughing too hard at that.
Very difficult.
Pro is 8.
Give a bear their big shot. Give the flamingos a bath. Let's focus on
Okay.
that. Let's focus on the bear and the flamingos right now.
Okay.
So where are the flamingos?
On the sides.
Yeah, just those 2 flamingos. You gotta knock.
Oh,
With the ball.
those two. I see them.
Yeah.
I'm going for the gummy bear. Okay, Carly?
Okay.
And we're gonna go for flamingos. Oh, you're pulling it too hard.
Everything cool.
Wait till it gets to the middle.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Shit. Shit. Shit.
And, yeah.
Damn. Shit, my bad. Well, it's gotta be higher.
Yeah. Gotta be a little higher than.
Try this one. Oh, no, never mind. Back.
Damn it.
Oh, we're gonna. Damn, higher than that. I feel like we were gonna hit that backboard.
That's what it looked like, right? Or maybe we would have. We gotta wait for the backboard to go all the way to.
Yeah. All the way to the right.
Because if we
Probably
do
gotta
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. Did we make the gummy bear in?
Yeah, I got the gummy bear
Oh, you
already.
did? Damn. These girls fucking ace their shit.
Yeah, we fell.
We're slacking right now. They're about
They should be doing the. Y'all should be doing the one on the right. Or no, cause oh yeah, we already got the. I think
Oh,
we
that's
got
gotta
it.
be it.
we
All
got
right,
that
now
one.
we gotta get that one on the right. The flamingo on the right.
Flamingo, not the basketball goal.
This is our last shot right here. This is our last shot. Let's go, flamingo. Oh, I don't think we're gonna hit that, man. We're.
Oh, shit. Damn it.
Oh! Oh! I thought I was gonna bounce and hit it off.
Rob.
Damn.
We did get the gummy out the way.
Yeah, we did get the gummies.
All right, so you guys go for the flamingo on the left. We'll go for the one on the right.
All right. And this is our chance right here. Because I think the backboard's all the way.
Not too hard. We not all the way.
We
not all
gotta
the way.
go all the way.
A little bit, right there.
Go back more. X.
Oh, okay, a
Yeah,
little
go
bit
higher
harder.
than that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's as far as we go.
Yeah.
All right. Not yet. Not yet. Out.
Too high.
There we go. Let's try to help them out real quick. Not yet. Wait till.
There. No, fuck.
All right. Hopefully. Let's
I
go.
think it.
We got it,
yeah,
we got
it.
I think I went
We
higher.
have to get 2 baskets now to be able to get the star.
Let them shoot first. All right, y'all shoot first. And then we go. Hopefully we get 2 in a row.
Oh, got one. Okay, well, at least we got 4. That way we get 4.
Oh shit, where am I? I thought I was you. Damn.
I like it.
Oh shit.
All right. So we got the flamingos. We got the gummy.
We
You
need 3 in
think-
a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
I don't know about that pro score.
That pro score is tough. All I know is that like we both could shoot in the middle. If the basket's on the right side, then only you guys shoot. Whoever's on the right side shoots. And if it's on the left, then us on the left side will shoot.
Okay.
Right now, I think just wait for the middle because it's about to move. You guys go first.
Oh
Shit.
fuck.
All right, wait. And there we go. Be good there. Let's go.
What the hell? Right? They pulled the ball through. Let's go.
Let the girl shoot again.
Well, it might move again.
X.
It's gonna move.
Oh, pull X.
Hey.
Fuck.
Yeah, we killed each other.
Hey, we got this? Nah, we gotta wait for the middle.
Oh no, God.
That's the girl's turn right now. Hit the left. And they're gonna go for his middle. X.
Shit, why am I keep letting go?
Oh no, we lost.
Yeah, it's like bugging or something, bro. Like I'm not letting go of our.
Now we gotta go middle.
Ah.
Now that we know where the I think we could get this pro score, bro.
All right, let's go to the side. Oh. Oh.
I believe we could have gotten the pro score. Hell yeah. But we fucked up and we're at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is still, yeah, this is moving out too, bro.
Oh, we got 6. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and we were fucking up. All right. Middle shot first. Set up for the right shot.
Up.
All right. Let's set back up for a middle shot. Oh, we could have that.
Yeah, you're right. This.
Oh, shit.
Go for the
ball.
side.
Oh, right now. Hey, there's 2 balls for y'all.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh,
Alright.
let them shoot first. Fuck it. We ball.
Oh,
damn.
we could have had 3 in a row.
From the left. That's 2 in a row. Let the girl shoot this one. That's 3 in a row in pro score. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We ball. All right, man. We got all those fucking stars, man. When we thought we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Look at us, buzzer beater, man. We did go pro. They'd be extra grippy. Hey, yo. Look at it. Damn, they didn't even count that last one that we made, bro.
Wow.
Should have had 9, man. Yeah, look at us, man. We ballers.
They robbed us.
This looks like a candy concession stand. You're really getting into the swing of the slingshot. For this next move, you really need to bring the sling. Hey, yo. You slinging me? I see a star. I see a ship. What are we doing with this X?
Probably gonna get 1 into the ship.
The star is the special target. You have to hit it at any point.
Okay.
Hit 3 targets in a row without. The targets are the lollipop.
Okay.
See the orange and yellow lollipop?
Yeah.
They move. They move.
Mm.
The red one at the top, it moves, but it doesn't move down. So the 3 in a row is red one.
All right, we'll see.
And don't. Wait, what's it? I hate rainbow flavored ice cream. Can't use that middle ball.
Can I use
The
the middle
rainbow-
one?
Don't
Yeah,
use
the
middle
rainbow
one.
colored ball.
That should be the easy
Okay.
one. So, yeah, no, we won't touch that.
Just the 2 side ones.
Where's that star at?
It pops up every now and then. I don't know if this one has to be 2. Oh, to hit the top row, it does.
X. Oh.
I was just seeing how far you can pull it, bro.
Yeah, we got it.
What are we going for? Red, orange?
You gotta go for orange.
But
Oh! Oh! Oh shit!
Sorry.
There's a star.
Damn.
Shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go for the red on top. Oh, fuck,
Hey.
motherfucker.
Let's wait.
Wait, what are we waiting for?
The red lollipop.
Right here, right. Oh, fuck.
Ah. There's a star again.
Oh, what the hell? Oh,
Shit.
Yeah,
I'm getting
you're not letting
lost.
me. Yeah, you're not letting me get there in time. All right.
I think my guy's like letting go or swing as I go back. But my guy's letting go of the swing. Because we're not getting any
I
type of
just
power.
like so hard for like a very long time.
Yeah, just is,
Damn. What's that little? Oh damn! What the fuck?
yeah. I don't know what's going on, bro.
oh, then we should have had that one.
Red one.
Like my pressure sensitivity was bugging.
Oh, bro, what? We were doing
we
so
gotta-
good at first.
We're gonna have to go after like oranges or something. Just to get the time.
All right. Well,
Come
at
on.
least we got the 1 star. We're not using the.
Oh,
Oh wait, we didn't get. Damn, we didn't even get. Damn, pass score of 18.
Yeah, we gotta get
For
18.
you.
We gotta do way better.
Alright, lock in.
All right, now we can. Oh no, never mind. We can't use the rainbow one.
What we going for, right? Orange or red?
There.
Orange.
Oh, red is on
Those
our
are working.
side. I don't know if we could do it. Yes. Ooh. Okay, we out here. That's the girl side now. The red.
oh,
Wait,
fuck.
wait. Oh, don't pull too far. We're going for orange. Right there.
Oh, damn. There's a
Oh, I thought
star.
I was gonna hit the star. Does that star give us like 5 points or something?
I don't know if it gives us points. Never paid attention.
Nice.
Only doing better on points.
Oh, pull for the red.
Oh, the star again. Star. They got it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yes. That was good, girls. Good shit. Oh, pull. Oh, like foreskin. Pull it back like foreskin.
Oh my god.
That's 18. You got the pass.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought we could
Aye.
get that. I thought we could get that.
Good.
What's the pro score?
20 something?
We got it. We got that. We got that. Let's go. 24 is the pro score. So we just need 4 more. Oh, star.
Remember if they gave us points.
blue, red. Oh shit.
Fuck. Fuck. I had that shit.
Oh, what the fuck?
Fuck.
There you
Red.
go. Alright, we just need 1 2-point, and the
Oh.
red is gonna be on our side. Oh, you
Ah.
son of a bitch!
The point.
Wait, the girls got it?
Oh.
Oh, we were 1
Oh, you
point
can't
short
hold
from
it by
pro.
yourself. So one person could be loading and the other person could be shooting.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if
can't
one
shoot the
person
red.
shoots, you only hit the bottom. To hit the red, you need 2 people.
Okay, so
Yeah,
how
I
about we focus on
think
red
it's worth more points.
on the
Huh?
bottom?
Red is worth double the points than the other ones. That's what I noticed. And then the star is worth 5.
So you could have maybe 3 people. But no, because then you can only shoot. I don't know. Shooters.
We would have
both
done
sides.
all those stars in 1 shot, bro. That would have been dope if we hit all the stars in one playthrough right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but now we could use the rainbow ball. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that does.
Makes you feel magic.
Oh shit! Why isn't that letting me?
Oh,
Oh,
Got the
go,
magic
go, go.
ball. Hit it.
Damn.
Oh,
All right.
could have hit a bite. Damn it. Damn it. Hey.
Oh, star, right there. Oh, we moved that last second.
Oh, we hit that red, Rick.
You did? Oh, okay, good.
One of those shit. Man.
We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get it. I'm surprised we got that one. You gotta go.
fuck.
Thought I had it. So my back got magnetized.
Damn, my man's throwing his back at it.
Shit.
Oh wait, star.
Oh.
Oh,
Star.
I just see that red and my eyes got big. Does the star give you anything?
5 points.
5 points.
Oh, does it? Shit. I need that.
Okay, good.
Did not know. I'd have been sitting here camping. Getting a 5 points. Orange.
Fucker.
Ah, damn. Star. Go.
We got it.
Nice.
We got the star.
Oh, fucking bullshit.
I feel like Drake's gonna break.
Shit. Shit. Yeah, we messed up.
You just need a 2-pointer. Come on. Right here. Oh, X. Oh, we don't got it. Wait for the next one. Right there. Bam, we got it. Buzzer beater. Let's go.
Appreciate it.
Let's fucking go, squad.
Hey. Yeah.
Look at us.
We're fucking
Fucking
ballers, yeah.
shitta.
We gotta sling more. Client needs us to move them in. Okay.
Oh, I fucking hate moving, man.
All right,
I got
X.
kicked out again. I need you to invite me.
You got kicked out again?
Yeah.
All right, so let's quit the main menu. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Let me see what other coworkers get in here.
I'll be the ice cream cone now.
Oh, that's cute.
Triceratops. Oh, I could be a Triceratops with a choker. Oh, that emu. Okay. When you pick a character, you could pick their color too.
Mine doesn't have any options yet. It says I have to find them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's those style crate. Character crates. Character.
All right, the style crate.
On this one, you have to make the one that we were about. That's,
Yeah, the one we're about to do.
I think you had to make 5 perfect out of the. We have to like swing a bunch of
5 perfect. What?
5 perfect landings. Yeah.
Oh, landing.
Oh,
Make
shit.
the object land where it's.
Okay. Thank you for the bless you. All right.
Bless.
Oh, what is
Hey,
that?
hey.
That's man
Oh,
cute.
that's cute.
Anybody want to change to the egg?
Nah.
Sunny.
I'm already at egghead.
Big same.
$27 boxes.
There's an easy one on here. And smash trees. To those pink and green trees to the right.
How the fuck? Oh, we got to slingshot it in there?
Yeah.
We won't do it. And that piece might not necessarily go on our side either.
Carly, you get kicked again?
Pull back more. Pull
No,
back.
sorry.
Can you pull back more? Or no.
Nah, that's it, right? Should land perfect. What?
Was it because this shit was in our way that we couldn't pull
Maybe.
back more?
Maybe. That piece goes on their side.
That piece. Oh, so then what do we do? Slingshot it to them? Is this thing a?
What?
Can
We could throw it across by hand right there.
Wait, throw it across
Oh.
where?
Just by hand, right there, by the fence.
Oh, let's throw it to them then.
Their side.
Hey.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Get up, Rick. Get up.
I'm trying to get in. All right, there we go.
That thing's all in our way, kinda.
Okay. No. We just lost 2 things.
No, they
No,
respawn.
they'll respawn.
This is also them. We gotta throw it to them.
Oh,
This is also them too.
Oh,
God
nope.
damn.
Is it? Oh yeah, they have. Oh shit. Never mind. I'm looking over there. They was just walking off the fucking face.
Oh, this is
Shit.
theirs. Oh
There
shit.
you go. We're just
I don't
throwing
think we've
y'all
gotten
out.
a
Oh,
single
we got
thing.
this one for our side right here. Yo, we ain't delivered shit yet, bro.
We ain't right none of those trees either.
Oh, we got one.
You got
Okay.
one in place? Nice.
Yeah.
Is that perfect landing? Oh, wait. Why did I
Oh,
overshoot?
I thought I was grabbing it.
Right?
How are we supposed to? Oh, like that? Okay.
I wonder if I can
Oh,
do
too hard.
if they'll let you. You need to break those trees.
Oh, this is theirs. We gotta throw it to them.
What? It's not heavy enough. We need a heavier item. Yeah, that toilet will work. Oh, did it stick? There it goes.
Oh my god.
The toilet's in here for us.
I myself there.
What? I thought we were going for that tree again.
Oh, you want to do it? Okay.
Chair.
Yeah.
Yes, I just
Might be too heavy. It's not letting me pull back any further.
Damn.
Damn. What the hell are we gonna hit it with?
Oh,
We'll
you
just
just
throw,
that
put the toilet in, right?
Oh.
We ought to be able to get this one. Got you grabbing the toilet. Oh, what am I gonna have it? Oh. Yeah, this is gonna be a tricky one.
Probably.
Damn.
Damn.
Got it. Oh god.
We got one.
Nailed it.
Was that a
We
perfect
got
landing?
one. Yeah.
We got 2 over here, 2 perfects.
That's 3. We need 5. Where's this back go? Oh, way in the back.
That's a bounce off or something.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Oh, alright. Okay.
Oh, we got 2.
Bounce off the awning, maybe.
Wait. All right, they have
Oh,
theirs.
yeah.
What are these little small shits?
On that side. That one. Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, you're right. That one is on their side.
Ooh. Perfect. Let's go.
Aye.
This is our side.
We need one more.
Oh, we got 2. That was y'all third, huh? Could have been 5.
I think maybe they need to throw that one.
Yeah, now they're all showing up. 4 boxes. They might not be in the right spot. Like, they might not be showing up. The damn magnet.
Oh, nailed it. Nailed it. Oh my god. Good job.
Why does this not stick, bro?
We could just run across with that if it don't stick.
No.
Look at this.
know this TV goes over there. Outside.
Bro, stick on the. There we go. You can do that
Oh, there
yourself.
it goes.
Oh, I think that's their side. No?
Well, I think we just have some out of place in that room, so it's like not showing up.
Let's try it again. Because they're still doing stuff.
We can still
Try to
run it
bounce it on
across
the
the
on there. Like right. So.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
This is theirs.
this is theirs as well.
Oh, is it gonna take it then? Oh, it took it.
Exactly. Oh yeah, we're getting close. We gotta get this stuff over there. Only got a minute left. This TV.
Alright, we sent everything we can send. Oh, there's one more.
Something fell in the water.
Oh, because this is
Just
your
send it
side.
across, Rick. Just send it across. Yeah, we're gonna have to go way faster. Because then we gotta get over there and still get everything in place.
Hit me.
Okay. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, that's how.
Oh.
I can't even tell where things are.
Dang.
I thought we just had to throw them in the room.
So did I.
I have to
That's
go
just the
into
most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my
with
life.
Lined
Oh,
up.
yo, Funky, you ain't shit.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Beautiful.
I was focused, Funky.
Oh man. Shit.
Oh, this is them.
This is what got us last time, I think. Think?
Oh, you gotta grab it from the other side. Yep. All right. Go down. There we go.
That one looked like the existential dread I feel every day.
That's wild, bro. Why, Funky? Why you gotta come for me like that? Hold on, cause this shit got in our way last time.
Yeah.
This is theirs. This is also theirs.
And I got a lot of stuff. Oh. Am I off? I couldn't tell.
Oh
This might go over it. Oh, we
What?
made it.
What the
Alright.
fuck?
Ready?
Yeah. Damn. Still did it.
What's this one? This is us right here, bottom.
Bottom of the staircase. Oh.
Oh, this is
The
theirs.
toilet is ours.
Hey.
This is ours.
How the fuck?
So,
That's just a mess over there.
You gotta throw this over.
here, we'll help you on this. Oh, shit.
Shit.
Okay. That's where it's going for now. What do you got? That goes over
This is on
there.
top of the staircase.
Wow. They should have gave us that. Little boxes. Chair goes over. I think this chair goes over there too.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Oh my god. Nailed it.
I don't know. We still didn't break those trees.
Ain't no way.
Was that it for us?
This goes to them.
Yeah.
No, you guys have this one.
Okay, we'll be there. Oh my god, fuck. What did you do?
Jumped on that armor.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
I need to get that that couch too. Oh shit. Of course.
I think maybe the chair goes on their side.
Damn, Bill, get it out of here. Uh-oh.
You gotta go up. Yeah.
Throw the chair over.
Oh,
Yeah. That's our chair. That's our
So what is it that we need? You said there was something for us?
this.
trying to sort through this damn room. Oh, man.
Yeah, dry ass fart. Yo, is there any other ones for us?
I don't know how we're gonna get this through here.
Nah, these girls.
Like that has to come out here to this.
So let's throw it over. Oh,
Last piece. Carly. No.
how is it?
Sorry.
Bro, I can't.
Yeah.
Can we go now?
No. I don't know how y'all gonna sort that room out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how y'all gonna sort that out.
I went in there and. But
Wait, let's move this table over.
we're missing something out of our room, right?
Okay, and then
What is
let's
it?
move this.
It's not this.
All
Where are you going?
I just keep hearing them dry ass farts, bro.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Back.
There's stuff in the way. I can't move that way.
Okay. What's blocking you? Oh, this? Okay. Okay. This goes there.
I don't know
Where
what's
does this
missing
go?
out of our building, but it's over here somewhere, whatever
That
it is.
goes that way. This goes this way. Help.
Sure, goes over here. Table.
Oh, this table goes to your side.
Oh yeah. Table goes all the way to our side. About to fill this.
Yeah, it's 17 seconds though. Yeah, I'll restart it.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's send each other stuff over first.
Okay.
Okay. So I know these little boxes are yours.
I just go over here and do one side at a time.
X,
What
no,
the heck?
ew, high ass.
I didn't like that.
Carly, we can do this couch for sure.
And this is theirs too.
Oh.
Look up.
And this is theirs too.
This chair is theirs. We gotta move this. Oh,
There goes
no.
the table. Where's this go?
What you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass.
I don't know, we're too much. Oh.
I don't know what we're doing. I thought we were moving everything across first. That's what y'all agreed to. Now we're slinging stuff across on the rope instead. That chair is all up in the way.
Oh, we
there
could
goes
do one
again.
thing. Get it in its spot.
Hiya. This is our chair. The one we're messing on. Oh my god. Shit.
Oh, it landed perfect. Okay.
Alright. This is ours.
stuck. Okay.
This one. Yes, sirs. I hate this toilet. Dirt. Get that TV across. That serves their TV.
You know what hours is?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Oh, fuck.
Shit. I'm out of place. This is yours.
Mm.
That's nice.
Is it one of the squares? You can shoot the squares over by yourself.
Yeah. I'm just getting all of them. That's ours. Oh no, this one's theirs. Oh, yeah.
Damn. Oh shit, that went flying.
This one's ours. I think share is yours. Get on there. Shit.
That bed is ours.
Yep. Damn, this thing on that
Just
stick,
go ahead,
bro.
send it.
It's not gonna read.
Oh shit.
I need you to.
Okay.
Shit.
No. Oh shit.
I think we're good with our side, right?
Yeah, it's everything.
Ladies Gucci.
Yeah.
Only, what, 25, 26? He's out of place. two things.
No.
Use triangle. Triangle tells you which two things. Wait, where's it going? Oh.
We're missing something.
Bottom right hand corner of the room. Bottom right hand corner of that room.
Right here where I'm
In the
standing.
room. Yeah, all right there. That thing. There we go.
Oh my god.
Damn, y'all room is a mess. And they said boys don't know how to keep their rooms clean, y'all. See that, chat?
Right in my room.
Your bed is on the wall, please.
That's because I had to vacuum under.
Just backwards.
Well, what do you call those beds that you pull out from the walls? What do you call those?
Murphy beds?
Murphy bed.
Yeah, it's a Murphy bed.
I don't think it was intended to be a Murphy
more,
bed
it's
though.
more room for activities.
Okay, I think I have to be done. I'm sleepy.
No, that's okay. Thank you for playing with us. Would you be up for another day? Doesn't have to be this coming week. It just, if we plan out another day, would you be down?
Hell yeah.
All right, sweet. You just nutted on me. I know it's wild to say. I'm sorry, guys. This fucking Ray. All right, guys. I guess who's going to bed?
These
Carly.
nuts.
Well, like if Carly's not playing, then we're all not gonna play. You know what I mean? I'll jump to another game.
Okay.
So.
I gotta let the dogs out and stuff.
Yeah. No. Go do your thing, Queen. Thank you so much. Everybody, tell Carly you love her.
I love you, Carly.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
All right, Joe.
And Candy and Ecstasy, thank you guys for playing.
Thank
Bro.
you.
And yeah, we'll
Eat
definitely
up.
hit
Okay,
up
bye.
the chat and be like, yo, what's up, pendejos? What we trying to do?
Perfect.
Just like that, too. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably play some Crash Bandicoot. Who knows? Unless... I don't know. What should we do, chat? Yeah, I want to watch Backdoor Sluts 9. She. Yo, I gotta. Funky, you gotta remind me to freaking rotoscope him. She. Yeah, that's crazy. The game set Backdoor Sluts 9, bro. I don't know what to do, man. What time is it? It's already 12:30. I don't know. I mean, we could end stream. Show somebody else some love. I had a good time. I had a good 5 hours and a half of good time, Yeah, I want to do that. Y'all want to do that? Y'all want to raid out to somebody? Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? Being that I ended early, I might head up the gym. You never know. Let's see who we got. It was definitely fun, Carly. I appreciate you being a part of this. Because I know that you I know the anxiety and stuff. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And I definitely look forward to more stuff with you guys. I have a feeling like once we all, you know, I mean, I know you and Candy already vibed out, but like once, you know, like I feel like once we vibe out in Chicago and stuff, like, you know, we're gonna be a lot more stupid the next stream. So I'm ready for that. It's Luff's birthday today. All right, so let's show Luff happy birthday. Candy is your lover? That's crazy. Yo, does Candy know that you're going on dates? Huh? I already told you, Carly. I'll tell Candy this too, yo. If fucking Carly's boo don't lock that up by Chicago, your boy's gonna be out there shooting his shot. Okay. Who do we got? We said it was Luft's birthday, right?
We got him.
That's crazy. All right.
Respect my authority.
Stop. Remember, guys, tomorrow I'll let you know in the Discord. I'll let you guys know in the Discord. But tomorrow I might not stream. I might stream early, but the big focus tomorrow is tomorrow over at Ted Farkas's channel, twitch.tv/Ted Farkas. We're gonna be doing a big Team Neon Nexus stream. It's gonna be me.
Hey guys, what's going on?
It's gonna be, well, no, not that guy. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be Ted Farkas. It's gonna be Maddie Braun, Slothy Sloth, Rad Does Games, Thorman Gunder, Shyloss Confused. I think that's it. I think I got everybody. Everybody will be over at Ted Farkas's. We're gonna be doing a Super Mario 64 race. I think. I don't know yet, but it's gonna be a big old thing. So I'll definitely be doing the announcement in the Discord as well. As soon as y'all see that ping, everybody go over to Ted, show Ted some love, and
Put the word out there.
yeah, man, put the word out. Yeah, put the word out there that we fucking back up, yo. Like real talk, put the word out there that we back up. All right. It's his birthday. Good. All right, we got it. I love you guys. What is going on again, yo? We were doing good with the raid numbers, and all of a sudden now it's just shit in the bed again. I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you to Ecstasy. Thank you to Candy, and thank you to Carly for giving me you guys your time, taking your time to play games with me. Time is something that I cannot give back to you. So hopefully, I don't know, man, I could probably return the favor in either tequila, liquor, maybe an orgasm here and there.
Got him.
What the hell is even that?
That's nasty work.
Ha ha.